أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على الكريم وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم بسنتهم أما بعد رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا واجتنابه اللهم إنا نسألك خير ما سألك عبدك رسولك نبيك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من شر ما استعاذ بك عبدك رسولك نبيك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. Welcome, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam, to again our Power of Duaa series, part number 11 tonight. And inshallah, as always, we'll start with the recitation of the Quran. We'll have inshallah Salih recite the verses.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا فسبح بحمد ربك واستغفره إنه كان توابا صدق الله العظيم.
Jazakallah khair, Salih, inshallah. You can see over there, everything is fine. So we recited from Surah An-Nasr, إِذَا جَاءَ نَصْرُ اللَّهِ وَالْفَتْحُ, as he was reciting, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us about victory. Inshallah, we make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us victory from this pandemic, from this coronavirus, and we can quickly get out of this before Ramadan. Today is, tonight is 31st of March. We only have a countdown of 23 more days left. So the more dua we make right now, the more kathra we make in dua, the more we can get rid of this so that we can go back to our masajid and pray Taraweeh in the masjid. I know there's a lot of people who are passing news that this Ramadan is going to be different and unique and we may not be able to pray, but I am one of those people who's always optimistic. I always focus on the positive and try not to focus on the negative, even though the negative may exist. Yes, it may be a reality that we may not be able to pray the initial part of Ramadan and Taraweeh in the masjid, but that doesn't concern me because I always work on towards asking Allah, and that's what we're doing, and beseeching Allah that, oh Allah, relieve us. The power of dua can never be underestimated. Like we've been saying throughout this series, in every single part, I've been repeating the same hadith again and again about Rasul saying, "Ad-du'a huwa al-ibadah, ad-du'a silah al-mu'min." Dua is itself a worship, an act of worship, and dua is a weapon of believer. Right now, the biggest weapon we have against COVID-19 or coronavirus is dua. So my dear brothers and sisters in Islam, wherever you are, however you are, every day, every night, every time, please keep making dua that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala return us back to our masajid before Ramadan. Before Ramadan, things at least become better. I know it may not change drastically and finish and go away totally, but at least enough so that we can pray Taraweeh, inshallah. So continuing from last night, we were talking about last night the top 10 times to make dua. We covered so far is the time of tahajjud, and at the time when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we mentioned the hadith Qudsi yesterday, how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us through the Prophet ﷺ that he comes down to the lowest heaven and he asks in the last third of the night that is there anyone who needs anything, and Allah will give them and grant them. And then we also mentioned that the time of iftar for the person who's fasting, that at the time of iftar is the best time to dua. We forgot to mention also with iftar is suhoor. So at the time of suhoor in the morning when you are making the suhoor and eating at the end of suhoor is also a time of dua. So suhoor and iftar both for the fasting person. And even those who are not fasting, even if they're exempt due to some sickness or anything, but they sit down and join the fasting person at iftar and make dua, inshallah, that is the moment, the time, the stipulation that is very accepted and we should be making dua. We also mentioned the time between adhan and iqamah. Rasul said, dua is not rejected between the adhan and iqamah, so engage in dua, as mentioned in Sunan Tirmidhi and Sunan Abi Dawood. And that is why whenever we are in the masjid and we hear the azan until iqamah, we should be silent and quiet, not talking to each other, not socializing. We also said on the day of Jum'ah, there is an hour that is very, very accepted for dua. And we also said between Dhuhr and Asr on Wednesday is also very accepted according to the hadith. Today, let us continue number 6. Very important time to make dua is where Rasulullah said that the nearest a slave can be to his Lord is when he is prostrating, as mentioned in Imam Muslim Sahih, that when a person is in sujood, at that time is also very, very acceptable for dua. And this is also complemented from the ayah in the Quran, in surah Alaq, اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق. In that surah, the last ayah Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions, wasjud waqtarib. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, make sajda to me and get closer to me. So because I recited that ayah, which is an ayah of sajda, so all of you can make sajda tonight. After this program finishes, just make sure you make a sajda to tilawa because of this ayah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in that ayah is saying that make prostration and you will find me near you. So the nearest position in salah to Allah is sajda. And that is why it is also one of the most desired places to die. So many people in this world, so many believers have been blessed with the blessed death, maut, in the time of sajda, whether it's an imam or a regular person. You know, they go to sajda, they make tasbih to Allah, and Allah yaqbidu ruh, Allah holds their ruh in the time of sajda, and the person passes out. Subhanallah, that is one of the best deaths. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless such a beautiful death to all of us. Ameen. So besides sajda, another important time to make dua and dua being accepted is towards the end of each of our fara'id salah, the obligatory prayer. Before, we say assalamu alaykum, assalamu alaykum. After the tashahhud and the durood on the salam on the Prophet. After that, whatever dua you make just before saying assalamu alaykum, that is also a time that is very, very accepted for dua, and we should be making dua. We should not be in a rush, in a hurry in our salah, that quickly do the tahiyyat, quickly do the durood and salam al Rasulullah, and then quickly say salam to Allah. No, it is from the sunnah of Rasulullah to make dua in the salah at that time towards the end of the prayer before taslim, before saying salam. As narrated by Abu Umama, he said that Rasulullah said, he was asked, O Messenger of Allah, which supplication is heard by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? He said, at the end of the night and at the end of the obligatory prayer, the fara'id, which is mentioned in a Tirmidhi, which means the time after saying a tahiyyat and before making the taslim, end of the prayer. So we can make prayer in that time in Arabic, of course. We cannot make in any language other than Arabic because we are in salah, in an act of prayer. So obviously try to memorize as many dua you can memorize in Arabic. Even the ayat we have in the Quran, like Rabbana atina fid dunya hasana, these are du'as which are from the Quran. So we should memorize those ayat because they're also a dua. And so therefore we can recite that in our salah. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. So these are some examples of ayat in the Quran that start off with Rabbana, Rabbana. And you can pick up the Quran and just see through wherever the ayat start with Rabbana. إننا سمعنا مناديا ينادي للإيمان أن آمنوا بربكم فآمنا ربنا فاغفر لنا ذنوبنا وكفر عنا سيئاتنا وتوفنا بالأبرار. So these are du'as that start in the ayah with the words starting as Rabbana, and we should memorize them. And once we memorize them, not only are we getting reward of just making the dua, but we also get the reward of reciting an ayah of the Quran. And it becomes easier for us in our salah to recite these dua in the tashahhud, in the sitting position before making taslim, making salam. Another time, so how many we covered? We did 5 yesterday, 6, 7. Number 7, it is a time of at rain, when it's raining, al-matar, al-ghayth. Like the dua for rain is Allahumma thayyiban nafi'a, oh Allah, make it, easy and beneficial, productive for us, not harmful, because if too much rain comes, it becomes harmful also. So at the time of rain, narrated Sahel ibn Sa'd, also, he said that the Messenger of Allah said, two will not be rejected, supplication when the adhan is being called and at the time of the rain, which is narrated in Sunan Abi Dawud. So 2 times in this hadith, Rasulullah is saying there are 2 du'as at a time which will not be rejected. One at the time of azan, when a person is making azan. You can also make du'a. I know we said earlier that it's between azan and iqamah, but we can also make du'a when the muazzin is making azan. Now, obviously, for people who are in any Muslim country, it's very easy. When they listen to the adhan coming from the masjid in their neighborhood, they could be, the sunnah is to repeat what the muazzin is saying, Allahu Akbar, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu an la ilaha. And when they're saying Hayya ala salah, Hayya ala falah, you say La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. But in between, you could be making dua. And remember, to make dua, you don't even have to spell it out or say it out from your tongue. It could be in your heart. Remember in this series, in one of the parts, I told you about the dua of Ayyub alayhi salam, that he made dua from his heart, because his tongue that was moving and he was doing dhikr and making dua, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala even paralyzed his tongue stopped, so he could not speak or say anything, but he made dua from his heart. So dua is not something that you only make from your tongue. Dua you can also make from your heart. Your heart gives witness, testimony to the dua. You could be saying it in your heart. And that is what Ayyub alayhi salam said, وَأَنِّي مَسَّنِيَ الضُّرُّ وَأَنْتَ أَرْحَمُ الرَّاحِمِينَ. Oh my Allah, harm has afflicted me, Ya Allah. You took my tongue away. That is harm me. My whole body was paralyzed. It was not a harm, because I still had a tongue to remember you, to call upon you. Now that you have taken my tongue away, oh Allah, it has hurt me and harmed me. وَأَنْتَ أَرْحَمُ الرَّاحِمِينَ. And you are the most merciful of all merciful. What a beautiful dua he made. And also the dua of Nuh alayhi salam that I taught you in this series, when he said, which is mentioned in Surah Qamar, Surah 54, verse number 10. And I told you in this series that we should be saying this dua of Nuh alayhi salam, reciting this ayah from the Surah Qamar, which is the dua of Nuh alayhi salam. We should be reciting, especially right now in this pandemic, in this coronavirus time, where he said, فَدَعَى رَبَّهُ أَنِّي مَغْلُوبٌ فَانْتَصِرْ. The more you repeat this ayah, which is a dua, the more inshallah we can get rid of this coronavirus as quickly as we can, because everybody wants to get rid of this. Everybody is stranded. So let us move on. As he said, that the time of rain, whenever you see it's raining, instead of having fun and all that and laughing and joking, Muslimin, believers, are people who immediately raise their hand, ask Allah whatever you want: a good job, a good wife, a good husband, a good child, a good livelihood, good health, whatever you want. Whenever it's raining, make dua, because that is a time of being accepted. Why? Because rain is rahmah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah is being merciful on the humanity on earth, and He's giving His rain. So therefore, at that time, we should be busy in making dua. I see a lot of people at time when it's raining, they are totally unmindful. It is a time to make dua, especially when it's extremely rain, like a big thunder shower and all that. It is a time to make dua to Allah and make the most beautiful dua. And like I said many times in this series, that when we make dua, we first start off with praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then we start off with the durood al salam, Rasulullah salah ala Rasulullah sallam, and then asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the whole ummah, for the whole world, and then for others, and then for ourselves. We should keep ourselves the last, not the first. This is the systematic way of making the dua, inshallah. Continuing on, inshallah, number 8 situation, number 8 when of the top 10 the dua is accepted is in halat al-marad, sickness. According to the hadith of Rasulullah, that when a person is sick, or when they are in any kind of sickness, disease, illness, flu, cold, cough, anything, fever, or just any other kind of sickness, whether it's terminal sickness or temporary sickness. Rasul said, La bas tahuran, inshallah. He said, no harm, inshallah. This will be a purifier for you. And he would encourage the person to make dua. Two things over here you have to understand, brothers and sisters. Number one, the person who's sick, he has the dua being accepted a lot. So the more dua he or she makes, the more chances of them being accepted. And for me and you who are healthy people, there's another opportunity. When we go to visit a sick person, our dua is accepted. When we go to visit a sick person, either in hospital or in their home, whatever you make dua at that time for them and for yourself at that moment is very istajab, answerable. And we should ask the people who are healthy and go visit somebody, we should ask the person who's sick, please make dua for me. Because they are in pain, they're in corrupt. They're asking you, please make dua for me. Yes, we make dua for you that Allah relieve you from this sickness, from this disease. And you also, sick person, make dua for me, us, the healthy people, that whatever you need have, whether you have a desire, a legitimate need, some issue, some problem at home, ask the person who's sick that, please, brother, sister, make dua for me. I came here to visit you, to give you your haqq. As you know that there are 7 rights of a Muslim upon another Muslim. One of those 7 rights, according to Hadith, is that when they are sick, we go visit them. Whenever you find out anyone in your society, in your community, in your neighborhood is sick, we will visit them. But yes, please don't visit them right now, because right now it's a special case. It's a pandemic. It's a coronavirus. So right now is not a good time. But I'm talking about a regular sickness. Besides this pandemic or epidemic, a person can go visit. So Halat al-Mard. Number 9 of the top 10 is where Rasul said, 3 supplications will not be rejected by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The supplication of the traveler and the supplication of the one who's fasting. So therefore, Rasul, and the third one is supplication of the parent for his child. So in this hadith, Rasul mentioned 3 situations. One, when a person is fasting and making iftar, at that moment, at the time of iftar, before iftar, make as much dua as you want. And Ramadan is coming up. We are in Sha'ban right now, and many of us may be fasting for Sha'ban, either on Monday or Thursdays or middle of the Sha'ban, 13, 14, 15. Don't forget that in Sha'ban, whenever you're fasting at the time of iftar, make dua. At least 10, 15, 20 minutes before iftar, sit down, have the iftar ready, instead of wasting time till the last moment. If Maghrib is like 7:25 or 7:30, we just get ready at 7:28 or 7:24. That's not a good thing. Try to make istidad for iftar, and dua. Dua is very important. My humble and special request to each and every one of you, if you are fasting in Sha'ban, then please remember to ask dua to remove this pandemic. Ask dua for myself also, that Allah forgive me and forgive our sins, and ask dua for all the Muslim Ummah, and that may Allah make it easy for all of us from this pandemic. And if we are not fasting, then my encouragement and my targheeb for you is that please start fasting. It's Sha'ban. 2 things. A, it will help you get geared up, prepared for Ramadan. And second, also, we are in a calamity. We are in a dire need. So at this moment, the more we fast, the better for us to ask Allah to remove. Because we have firm belief that no one can remove this coronavirus except Allah. No doctor, no medicine, no pharmaceutical company, no hospital, no nurse, nothing. So why not ask Allah every day? And when we are fasting in Sha'ban, either on Monday or Thursday or any day of Sha'ban, ask Allah, like we said in the previous parts of this series, that when we are making dua, try to make dua as if with crying. And if you can't cry, at least make the face of a crying, because Allah loves the crying face of a person when they're beseeching and pleading upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we said halatul safar, when a person is traveling, whatever kind of traveling it is, whether you are traveling in a car, in a train, in a bus, in a plane, in a ship, whatever you are, or traveling by foot. I know some people say, oh, this hadith refers to 1400 years ago. 1400 years ago, they used to travel by horse or camel or donkey or foot. Nowadays, we have this super fast machine. So people sometimes say all kinds of weird things, subhanAllah. But the hadith of Rasulullah is for till the day of judgment. He did not mean to say that only the person who's traveling with mashaqqa or difficulty of a horse or camel or donkey, their dua will be accepted. Anyone who's traveling, even if you're traveling the luxury of your car or luxury of an airplane or anything, dua will be accepted. Because Rasulullah said in another hadith that as-safar qit'atun min al-'adab, safar, traveling, is a small portion of punishment, adab. Not adab from Allah, punishment, but what he meant, metaphorically speaking, is comparing the action of journey or traveling, comparing that to the level of difficulty and hardship when the azab or punishment comes. It should not be misunderstood that, oh, traveling is a punishment from God. No, what he's saying is that when you are traveling, you are enduring so much hardship and difficulty. Nobody likes to travel. And, for those who love to travel, they even get tired after 10, 15, 20 times that they've traveled. So enough is enough. Home is good. Home sweet home. So nobody loves to keep on their life traveling. The reason those people who love traveling is because they haven't been traveling for a long time. And so they say, okay, we've been staying home all the time. Let's travel. But the hadith of Rasulullah is very, very meaningful, wisdom-wise, that traveling is a small portion of punishment, because it gives you hardship and you bear the hardship, you endure the hardship and difficulty. So when you're enduring hardship and difficulty, it's so common sense and natural that Allah will bless you for that endurement. And that's why Rasulullah said that dua is not rejected of a traveling person. In fact, whenever somebody would be traveling in Medina and they'd be leaving, Rasulullah will ask them, please make dua for us. Many of the Sahaba will be shocked. Ya Rasulullah, you are a Nabi, you are a Rasul, you are so great, the greatest of all human beings. How can we so low from you can make dua for you? And he said, yes, you make dua because the dua of a Muslim for another Muslim is mustajab. That brings us to the other instant, number 10, is that the dua of a Muslim for another Muslim is answered. So we should constantly ask one another, each other, a sister ask another sister, a brother ask another brother, ask your relatives, ask your friends, ask your family, please make dua for me. Not only just ask them when they are traveling, even when you are just calling them and talking to them on phone, like whether overseas, you call your relatives and say, how's everything? Before you end, say, please make dua for me, and I will also make dua for you. Because according to the hadith of Rasulullah, when a Muslim makes dua for another Muslim, Allah answers that. You know why? Think about it. Those of you on Facebook, you want to put why? Let's see if you want to put something in the message. Or in the YouTube also. I don't know if you can type in the message in YouTube. But while you're typing, I'll give you why. Why is it that Allah accepts the dua for another person in our favor? Common sense. What organ, listen carefully to this now, it's a trivia question. What organ of your body do you use to make dua? Is it the head? Is it the eyes? Is it the ears? Is it the hands? Is it the mouth? Or is it the tongue? Type in your answer. It's anybody type? Again, is it the head? Is it the eyes? Is it the tongue? Is it the mouth? Is it the ears? Is it the hand? Which organ do we use to make dua? All right, it's the tongue, right? Somebody said the tongue. Excellent. Yes, we use the tongue to make dua. Beautiful. Now, do we sin from our tongue? Yes or no? Anybody just typing? Yes or no? Do we make sins, mistakes from our tongue? Yes or no? Good. Yes, that's true. So, since we make sins from our tongue, so our tongue is sinful. Our tongue is dirty or filthy, so to speak, metaphorically speaking. Since we make so many mistakes and sins from our tongue, so our dua coming from our tongue will be jeopardized, will be suspended in air unless and until we make tawbah. But I don't make sins from your tongue. You don't make sins from my tongue. So your dua coming from your tongue for me and my dua coming from my tongue for you is mustajab, is accepted. This is the philosophy behind this, my dear brother and sister Islam. So never get tired of asking and requesting people to make dua for you. Whenever you meet someone, even for a short while, before you depart and leave, just say, please remember me in your dua. Please make dua for me. So this way, people remember. So that was number 10, right? We reached up to number 10. Rain and traveling and sickness. And yeah, number 11. The awqat al-iztirar, when you are gripped with extreme fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There are times in our life when we're reading Qur'an or when we are doing dhikr, subhanallah, alhamdulillah, Allahu akbar, and we are remembering Allah. Suddenly we get gripped with fear, and you start crying, tears start coming up. Insan is in a state of what you call awe and love and fear of Allah. The insan is gripped with the love and awe and fear of Allah. So that time is very, very important to make dua. Dua is accepted. Whenever you spontaneously start crying, like nobody forced you to cry, nobody provoked you to cry. You were just reading some ayah in the Quran, thought came, you started crying. You were making dua and suddenly you started crying. You were doing dhikr, of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or anything, and you started crying. When that moment happens, halatul ittirar, dua is accepted. Why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says to the angels that, look, this slave of mine, he or she, they are crying. And why are they crying? And so the angels reply to Allah, Ya Allah, they fear you. They fear your maqam, your izzah, your jalala. So Allah says to the angels, go tell them that I have forgiven my abd. Because of that one tear that is shed, I have forgiven my slave. Subhanallah. So, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam, whenever you are gripped with that kind of fear, then make sure at that moment, while you're crying or while the tears are coming, make a lot of dua, because the dua is accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah loves you at that moment when you are crying because of the fear and khashya of Allah, the devotion and concentration of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All right, number 11, let's move on. And that the time when dua is accepted is Laylatul Qadr in Ramadan. Of course, every night in Ramadan is very, very blessed night, but Laylatul Qadr is a special night. Inna anzalnahu fi Laylatul Qadr, Laylatul Qadr khairun min alfi shahr. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in that night answers dua, so we should never leave opportunity to make dua of that night. Besides that, number 12 is Yawm Arafah. In Hajj, the day of Arafah, even for the Hujjaj that are there in Mecca, Medina, make dua that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala don't stop the Hajj this year. We're hearing these rumors that, there are a lot of people who want to go for Hajj tonight and this year. They're also very anxious and jittery and nervous. What's going to happen? Let us make dua that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, remove this bala, at least from Saudi Arabia, by that time of Hajj, so that we can all go for Hajj, inshallah. So on the day of Arafah, it is a very important, not just for the Hujjaj in Arafat to make dua, but even me and you and all the people from morning to evening of that time of day of Arafah, we should be making dua. I see a lot of people, Muslims, on the day of Arafah, enjoying, wasting time, party here and there, because in anticipation of preparation of Eid al-Adha, so they are not that focused on that day of dua, but that day is the day of dua. From Fajr to Maghrib, all a person should do, even if you're not gone for Hajj, wherever you are, all a person should do is just make dua on Yawm al-Arafah, that Allah accept our dua. So these are the 12 different times that the dua is accepted. Inshallah, we'll conclude with that tonight. Tomorrow, again, 8 o'clock, we'll continue. And tomorrow we'll talk about whose dua is accepted for who. I already gave you one of those tonight, that a Muslim brother or sister's dua is accepted for another Muslim brother. We'll cover 6 or 7 more of those tomorrow night. Come, let us make dua for people. A lot of people have requested me to make dua, so we will make dua for them. Especially, there's a brother who has been diagnosed with coronavirus, COVID-19 in UK, and his friend requested me that, brother, please make dua for them. There's another sister, her relative is diagnosed with coronavirus overseas in other countries. She has requested for dua. There's another brother here in New Jersey who was just feeling symptoms of sicknesses, has gone to the hospital. We don't know yet if they're going to be testing them, but we don't know yet if they have been tested positive. But the family members have asked that, please, brother, make dua. Again, if any of you want to, in these programs that we do every night at 8 o'clock, 8:30, when we make dua, if you want me to make dua especially for you, if you want, just text me or send me an email, let me know, WhatsApp message, text message, brother, please make dua for this. Because as we are making dua right now, by mentioning, you can mention, without mentioning name or mentioning name, everybody who's watching, they will say, Ameen. The reason I make this dua in collectively in ijtima, because that's another thing of acceptability that the hadiths tell us. That when you make dua individually, it's just you and Allah, that is also accepted. But when you make dua in ijtima, in a group setting, in a collective, then that is also increases the chance of acceptability, because we don't know who amongst the Jama'ah, who right now who's watching this program, we don't know who is very close to Allah and who's Ameen, that Allah listens and accepts the dua for all of us. So this is the fadl or fadail of dua in ijtima. Then when we make dua in a group setting like this, we don't know who will say Ameen with us and who that person is so close that Allah will say, let me accept the dua of all this gathering, bifadl, with the benefit of that one person who said Ameen in our dua. So let us make dua for them, these people who requested, inshallah, for dua. And for all of you, we make dua for all of you that are watching, that Allah keep all of you healthy and wealthy and happy and protected from all kinds of fitna. Ameen. And may Allah protect each and every one of us who is listening and watching right now from this virus, from this pandemic. Ameen. May Allah protect our families, our children, and everybody from this this calamity, this pandemic. اللهم أنت السلام منك السلام تباركت ربنا وتعاليت يا ذا الجلال والإكرام. اللهم تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا مولانا إنك أنت الرحيم. اللهم يا رب الناس، اللهم يا شافي أنت الشافي لا شفاء إلا شفاء، اشفي مرضانا ومرضى المسلمين في كل مكان. اللهم اشفيهم شفاء كاملا لا يغادر سقما رب العالمين. اللهم ارزقهم الصحة والعافية في بدنهم وجسدهم رب العالمين. اللهم إنك عفو كريم حليم تحب العفو فاعف عنا. اللهم إنك عفو كريم حليم تحب العفو فاعف عنا. اللهم اغفر لنا ذنوبنا وكفر عنا سيئاتنا وتوفنا مع الأبرار ولحنا بالصالحين رب العالمين. اللهم ارفع مقتك وغضبك عنا يا رب العالمين. O Allah, raise your anger, your wrath from us, O Rahman Rahim. اللهم إنك عفو تحب العفو فاعف عنا. O Allah, you are the pardoner, you love to pardon us, Ya Allah. اللهم اغفر لنا ذنوبنا وكفر عنا سيئاتنا وتوفنا مع الأبرار. Oh Allah, forgive our sins and remove our mistakes and give us the blessing of Iman, Ya Rabbil Alameen. اللهم حبب إلينا الإيمان وزينه في قلوبنا وكره إلينا الكفر والفسوق والعصيان يا رب العالمين. Ya Allah, Ya Rahman Rahim, these two brothers who are in the hospital and diagnosed with coronavirus, oh Allah, give them shafa'an kamilan la yughadiru saqaman radim. Allahumma arzuqhum as-sihha wal afiyah fi badani wa jasadi bil amin. Allah, give them health in their body, return them back to their families as quickly as possible. Oh Allah, those people who are experiencing sickness wherever they are, inside their home, outside their home, cure all of them, give them the best cure and remedy for them. There is no cure except your cure, Ya Allah, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, Ameen. Allahumma anta shafi, O Allah, you are the curer, you are the giver of shifa. There is no cure besides your cure. Allahumma anta shafi, la shifa illa shifa. Ishfi mardana madal muslim fi kulli makan. O Allah, cure all the sick Muslims wherever they are, whichever place they are, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim. Oh Allah, we have a lot of mistakes, we have a lot of shortcomings. Remove our mistakes, for you love to remove the mistakes. You are the most forgiving God, you're the most forgiving Allah, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim. Oh Allah, protect our children, protect our family, protect our loved ones from all kinds of viruses, from all kinds of sicknesses, from all kinds of calamity, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim. Oh Allah, all those people who are listening to these programs, these lectures, oh Allah, bless them in their life, bless them in their health, bless them in their wealth, bless them in their children. Oh Allah, all those people who are spending their valuable time in these days of pandemic, isolated at home, all those who are spending their valuable time to come every night or to listen or to watch the videos later on. Accept all of them for your ibadah, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim. O Allah, give them the benefit for every single second and minute and hour that they spend in your ibadah. O Allah, accept all of our ibadah, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, and give us the best reward, the best ajr, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, in this dunya and akhirah. Allahumma wafiqna lima anta tuhibbu wa tarda. O Allah, encourage us and enjoin upon us whatever you appreciate, whatever you accept, whatever you love, Ya Allah. For we are misguided, we are deviated, we don't know what is the best thing. So guide us to what is best and give us the tawfiq, the opportunity, the encouragement to always do that which brings your happiness, which brings your pleasure. Allahumma anta takunu radin anna. O Allah, be pleased with us, for we seek your pleasure and nothing more than that. Ya Allah, Ya Rahman Rahim. O Allah, you were pleased with the Sahaba of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You revealed the ayah, the Quran, radiyallahu anhum wa radu an. So, O Allah, we ask you also, we beseech you, we plead you, we beg you to also be pleased with us, just like you were pleased with the Sahaba. Verily, we are nowhere close to the Sahaba of Sallallahu. We are not even equal to the dust of their foot, Ya Allah. But you are the most forgiving, most loving God, Al-Wadud, Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, Al-Hannan, Al-Mannan. We ask you, and we are never, never disappointed from your treasures. So give us your pleasure, your ridha, Ya Allah. Allahumma anta takunu radiran ya Rabbil Alameen. Oh Allah, give us the tawfiq, give us the encouragement that when death comes to us in this dunya, the last word on our tongue is kalima shahada la ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah sallam. Oh Allah, many Muslims are dying right now all over the world because of coronavirus. Oh Allah, give them the nasib of kalima shahada la ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah sallam. Oh Allah, these Muslims are dying in hospitals, in confinement, away from their loved ones, away from their family. Oh Allah, give them the darajah of shahada, Ya Rahman Rahim. Oh Allah, give them the darajah of shahada, of martyrdom. Just like your Prophet Muhammad sallam promised us that those who die with this calamity or pandemic, they die as shaheed. So give these people the darajah of shahada and give their family members the sabr azim and jameel, Ya Rabbi. Oh Allah, forgive our brother Rahman who passed away in Queens in New York, Ya Allah, Ya Rahman. Allah, give his family sabr azim and jameel, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Oh Allah, take care of his family, and after he has left this dunya, for you take care of the orphans and the widow, the best of the best, Ya Allah, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim. اللهم تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا مولانا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم وصلى الله على محمد وعلى آله وصحبه برحمتك الرحيم سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا الله نستغفرك ونتوب إليك والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Inshallah, tomorrow night 8 o'clock we'll continue.